Okay, so today I have Tyler from Geek Talk with Tyler. How you doing today?
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm doing pretty good on this Saturday evening.
Yeah. Oh, it's evening where you're at. It's midday here.
Oh, really? Where are you at?
Midwest Indiana.
Oh, word. I'm in New York, specifically Pearl River, New York, which, for those of you unfamiliar with the area, is about a 45-minute drive from Manhattan.
Oh, all right. Okay. So, are you going to Comic Con this year?
Which Comic Con? New York Comic Con, right?
Yeah.
I may, depending on my financial situation is like. I mean, I would like to go wear the Geek Talk with Tyler hat I'm currently wearing, sport that around, help get the name out there. But it's gonna depend on look like, and it also has to depend on the guests. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. A good portion of why I go to conventions is to meet the guests.
Right.
I'd say some of the most interesting people I've met at Comic Cons or I guess just conventions in general are John DiMaggio, who did Bender, Wrath from Ben 10, and Jake the Dog from Adventure Time, and easily one of the best Jokers out there. If you ever see The Killing Joke. Um, Also met Steve Bloom, very talented guy. For all of those that grew up with Toonami, he was Tom from Toonami, Spike from Cowboy Bebop, and was even Orochimaru in the Naruto franchise.
Yep. Yeah, I went to Otakon back in 2018,
Oh,
just
no
before the
kidding.
pancake hit.
Is that the DC one?
Yeah, that's the DC one.
I think I might have seen you at that one. Were
I
you uh, were you cosplaying as anything?
So I was cosplaying as a independent Black Bull character from Black Clover.
Huh.
Like it was my own variation on a Black Bull.
So it's kind of like a fan art thing.
Yeah, kind of. Only because I'm fat and none of the Black Bull members are really heavy set. So I
I
just played
get
it
that.
off. I played it off of myself.
It's funny. A lot of the characters we see on TV are rather decently looking, if I'm not saying like they got the perfect body.
Yeah.
But when you see the actual fans at Comic Con, they're a lot more heavy set,
Right.
which kind of maybe brings to the question why they wouldn't have a lot more heavier set characters for us to cosplay as.
Well, okay. So recently I've been rewatching Naruto Shippuden, and Choji is probably the next person I will cosplay because it's easy to pull off.
I cosplayed as Queen from One Piece.
Really?
Yeah, I even got two pair of sunglasses from his normal sunglasses, and for the other one I got a pair of sunglasses, and I cut a ping pong ball in half, glued on sunglasses for his surprised reaction.
That is great.
Thank you. Usually my trickiest cosplay to do, mainly because of he's a cyborg, but he's only one arm is kind of like cyberbiotic,
Right.
or cyberkinetic. Sorry, I always confuse the two. But yeah, there was the sleeve that was kind of hard to do, but I think it was very rewarding. I must have been pulled over at least 50 times to get a picture.
Right. I remember when I went to Otakon, there was a guy dressed in like tac gear, like military tactical gear, and he had a staff and he was playing Megami in modern version.
Nice.
It was cool looking.
Wait, Megami from Konosuba, or is there
Yeah.
another?
Yeah, Konosuba.
Nice.
His hat was decked out with night vision goggles all the way around it for the brim.
Dude, when I went to Anime NYC last year, I saw a Generation 1 Megatron.
Really?
Really?
Wow, nobody really does that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the times when you see Transformers, it's the live action movies or Transformers Prime. But it's nice to see people paying homage to the original series.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, all things considered, I'm much more of a Beast Wars fan.
I mean, I wasn't really into the Transformer thing. I really wasn't.
It's basically it's a sequel prequel series, and that sounds weird, but
Right.
the beginning of the show starts off as the descendants of the Autobots and the Maximals, the Predacons and the Decepticons, but Time Warp Ex Machina lands them on thousands of years in the past, if not millions of years in the past, on what seems to be a foreign planet.
Right.
But actually, it's just prehistoric Earth.
Right.
And as such, there aren't any vehicles for them to scan, so they scan animal forms, ranging from arthropods to reptiles to mammals. They had a variety of characters. And honestly, one of my favorite characters in the entirety series is Inferno. He transforms into a fire ant, but he's got some processing issues, and he always refers to Megatron as his queen. Because in Ant Society, they have a queen. So it's like, wait, is Megatron transgender? I mean, I know he's a transformer, but he's not a transgender. He's like, oh, wait, he actually thinks he's an ant, and he's actually paying Megatron a compliment.
Yeah.
All right. He's actually insulting him. It's like, oh, I wish you would stop calling me that.
So do you prefer more older anime or some of the newer ones?
Honestly, I'm a bit of a nostalgic. I do like the older anime, but there's some new stuff that has actually been really catching my interest. Spy Family is pretty good. Heaven's Design Team is definitely good. It's a nice change of pace, more educational. Definitely explains why many animals are the way they are.
Right.
In fact, there's a running gag. One of the guy's creations, his best creations, quote unquote, was the horse. He therefore is trying to make animals like Pegasi and unicorns, but he's been told why these animals will never happen. It's like, but that's not fair. The elk was allowed. It's like, oh, but it actually has osteoporosis, but because the way its body is designed, they can handle it properly. So we'll tell you what, we can give you a horn, that horn, but it has to go on a cow. It's like, no, the horn is only beautiful if it goes on the horse. And then eventually they're on Galapagos, which is like their testing field.
Yeah.
And one of the guys finds the unicorn horn. It's like, hey, what is this? Oh, it's a horn from a rejected horse. It's like, can I borrow it? I want to make an animal. It's like, sure. And then the guy puts it on a whale. He's like, no whales approved. And the other guy's like, oh, come on.
That's great.
And honestly, the most wholesome one I've seen recently is My Roommate's a Cat. It's just adorable. Definitely good for cat fans. And even dog fans, actually. My friend, who is actually on some of my episodes, claims she's a dog person, and she is, but still loves that anime anyway. It's just so wholesome.
Yeah. All right. See, I've been a weird mix as of late. Like I've been rewatching a lot of older stuff just because like recently I was rewatching Yu Yu Hakusho because of how the banter between the Yusuke and Kuwabara you don't see anymore.
Well, that's the thing with anime. They're transcending into different things.
Right.
A lot of the times, like Naruto, for example, back in the day when we were kids, we had Yusuke, Urameshi, and Goku. They're fighting with their hands. But right. Naruto's most powerful jutsu, the Talk no Jutsu, it's like there's no bad guy that's actually a bad guy. It's like, oh, I understand your point. Now I'm good.
Right.
Which, I mean, I get that as a philosophical, but sometimes I just want to see people beat the absolute shit out of each other. Is that so wrong?
I mean, that was like the first, what? That was the second or third season of Attack on Titan. That's all they did.
Well, I'm not quite out. But, you know, it's funny. I like that they have dinosaurs in their opening, but they don't have dinosaurs. At least when One Piece has dinosaurs in their opening, they're actually relative to the plot.
Yeah.
Spoilers ahead, but we actually have some ancient Zoans. 6 of them are dinosaurs, but because of Japan logic, they're referred to as the dragon fruit and not dinosaur fruit.
Right.
But it's really more of a Japanese thing. The same word for dragon is the same word for dinosaur, that being Ryu.
Wouldn't it just be old reptile?
Yeah, you'd think, right?
Yeah.
And funny enough, their captain, Kaido, transforms into an Eastern dragon. So we're all thinking, oh, he's going to be another dragon fruit. But nope, he is the fish fruit.
But I thought they lost their powers in water. Like, so the fish
Yeah, fruit, I know, that's the whole weird thing. But there's a reason why it's fish.
And goddamn loopholes right there.
Yeah, but it's like a mud skipper can travel on land.
Fair enough.
But the reason is because, you ever play Pokemon?
Yes.
You know Magikarp and Gyarados?
Yes.
Like Kaido's fruit, both of them were actually based on the old Japanese tale of the carp ascending up the waterfall, ascending into dragonhood.
Really?
Really?
I thought it was just about hidden potential.
Well, that's the overall message of the story. but
Okay.
that's where the inspiration came from. In fact, a lot of anime kind of takes reference from folklore and Japan. Like Naruto, for example, the Orochimaru, it was Orochimaru, Jiraiya, and Tsunade were all based on characters of Jiraiya the Gallant.
Okay. I'm not familiar with them.
It's an older story. Like, were you not familiar with the Naruto characters, or not familiar with the tale of Jiraiya the Gallant?
With the tail.
Oh, it's an older tale. Instead of jutsu, they had magic. Jiraiya practiced toad magic. Tsunade practiced slug magic, and Orochimaru was Jiraiya's former student, but then practiced snake magic.
Okay, I can definitely see the references flying in now.
Yeah, there you go. But it's funny that you mentioned old stuff. I've really been watching Gargoyles lately. Again, easily one of the best things to come out of Disney.
I have only watched a few episodes here and there. I've never watched the whole series.
Really good. In fact, I actually have an episode actually airing later this year where I actually speak to the creator of the series.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which, by the way, for all you Gargoyles fans out there, if you do want to see more Gargoyles content, please add hashtag keep binging Gargoyles to all your social media platforms so we can definitely get more episodes.
All right. That's fair. Do you prefer more action-based, or do you like the psychological thrillers?
It really depends on what I'm in the mood for. My tastes seem to vary.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I want to see monsters, people, individuals just beat the absolute shit out of each other.
Yeah.
There's sometimes I would like a more story involved to that. One Piece, for example, is full of story and many different themes that can actually be related to today's world.
Right.
LGBTQ rights, as proven with the Okamas, slavery, racism, integrity, several different things. And a lot of people saying, I don't want to watch it, it's too long. Then I also have the same people saying they watched Naruto Shippuden at least 3 times. Like, every episode? Yeah. Okay, there are 500 episodes of Shippuden, and One Piece has only about 1,000 or so. So that's 1,500 versus 1,000.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I was watching One Piece because I was bound and determined to catch up to it, and I made it to where Luffy broke into the prison, and then I just kind of stopped because I got busy or something else happened.
And fell down. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, that's where I stopped, and I know I can go back to it anytime. I just haven't.
From One Piece fan to a, are you going to call yourself a One Piece fan?
I mean, it's a good show. I'm going to give it props.
Okay, so One Piece fan to another, I would recommend reading the manga.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, a lot of stuff in the manga is actually pretty good, and it's much further along than the anime is.
Right. Okay. So would you say One Piece is your favorite?
My favorite anime, yes.
Okay.
My favorite series, I would say my 3 favorite series would be One Piece, Beast Wars, the original 90s cartoon, not the animes, and Gargoyles.
All right.
As far as adult humor goes, I'm a big South Park fan.
Yeah.
They're just the king of satire. Like, yeah, are you caught up on the latest seasons?
I haven't watched the latest special. The last episode I watched was the Christmas special.
Where Mr. Hanky gets written off entirely?
I think so. No. It was where Randy was putting cocaine and whatnot into the marijuana.
Oh
plants.
yeah. That was a good one. But
that was the pandemic special. That's what that was.
That was it. That was a good one. And let me ask you something. Do you remember the character Token Black?
Yes.
It's not Token.
No.
It's Tolkien, like the Lord of the Rings author. That was the whole running gag of one of the latest episodes. He's like, he wanted to invite Token's family over because he was trying to get, his face out there. Hey, check out our black friends.
Right.
Right, because everything's like that now. And then Randy asks the question, so why'd you name your son that? And it's like, what do you mean? Well, isn't it odd that you named your kid Token? Like, no, I wanted to name him after my favorite author. And he's like, what? Yeah, my wife wouldn't let me name him JR, so we just called him Tolkien. Like, oh, his name is Tolkien. That was the whole running gag of the episode. Apparently, Stan and Randy were the only two people that didn't know his name was Tolkien. I mean, and Cartman did, but he actually wore a shirt for a while that said "Tolkien's Life Matter."
Yeah.
Tolkien, like the token black person. You're not Tolkien, like the author. And it's like, and he calls Cartman up saying, hello. It's like, hey, do you know Tolkien was named after the guy that did Lord of the Rings? It's like, yeah. Like, then why did you wear his shirt? Like, wait, Tolkien spelled with an L and an I? That's fucking gay.
South Park is great.
It really is. And honestly, one of my favorite moments between Cartman and Kyle is where it was actually took place in the movie that aired somewhere between season 3 and they're the whole war with Canada thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Cartman's like, Kyle, remember all those times I called you a filthy no good Jew? I didn't mean it. You're not a Jew. He's like, no, I am Jewish. No, Kyle, no need to be so hard on yourself. Like, what?
Yeah.
Which fun fact for you? Do you know that Cartman was actually based off of Archie Bunker?
No, I didn't.
Oh yeah, he was based off a young fat Archie Bunker.
Huh.
Yeah.
How about that?
How about that? This just goes to show that inspiration pretty much comes from everywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Luffy, for example, was based off Goku, and Goku in turn was based off Sun Wukong of Chinese legend.
Right.
And I guess a little bit of Superman in there from Dragon Ball Z.
I think that really happened after Superman got popular in the West.
I can see that. That doesn't surprise me.
Because that's when he lost. That's when they got rid of Nimbus.
Yeah, I kind of miss Nimbus. I mean, I know Goku can fly now, but
right.
Yeah, no, I guess that's just the nostalgia in me. Like when Ben 10, the Alien Force series happened, he finally uses the watch after all this time. And like, oh sweet, we get to see Forearms and Accelerate and Heat Blast and all these guys. But instead we get new aliens.
Right.
Which like, I just want to see the classics.
You know, one of the things I've been waiting to watch, and I haven't gotten into it yet, is the new Shield Hero series.
Is that the Marvel live action one?
No, this is Rising of the Shield Hero.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, Rising of Shield. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't want to give too much away for you, but basically that redheaded woman and the Shield Hero are basically Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
I know. I watched the first season and I was like, this is great. I can't believe this. See, I like a lot of more darker anime, like Berserk.
Well, when you say darker, you mean the animation is darker? Or like something DCAU, or the theme is darker?
Like the theme. I like the theme being dark. Like Berserk has a very dark theme to it. Well, but at the same time, it's gory as hell.
Well, yeah, that was like Attack on Titan before Attack on Titan became mainstream.
Right.
I mean, I know I like dark stuff like Gargoyles and One Piece. One Piece can be dark when it needs to be, and it absolutely does.
Right.
But I feel like a little levity couldn't hurt. Like, I want to get really into Attack on Titan, but it's just dark theme.
Yeah.
Like pretty much DC movies if they ever became animated.
Yeah, pretty much. Although,
we've been speaking about DC for a while. Let me ask you.
Yeah.
Who are your favorite Jokers? Like, as in people to portray them.
So, I like what Jack Nicholson did way back when. I like what he did, but I think the most impactful on me was Heath Ledger's take.
No, I'm a Mark Hamill fan.
Hey, that's fine, but like it was Heath Ledger's take on it that really set Joker apart from a lot of different things in the mainstream.
Yes, but let's call spade a spade. You can get 100 people to play Joker and they'll never play the same guy.
Exactly.
And whereas Batman is just the dark, brooding guy who lost his parents and modeled his entire outwear after his biggest fear, that being bats.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I like the concept of Joker. No matter who plays it, I like the concept of Joker.
Even Joaquin Phoenix?
Who?
Even Joaquin Phoenix, Suicide Squad Joker.
Uh,
Wait, that's not Joaquin Phoenix. No, that was who's the Morbius guy?
I'm not sure. I never watched Suicide Squad.
No, yeah, don't. It's well,
Yeah, I
watch
heard
the
it was
one.
bad.
Well, watch the one with King Shark and not Killer Croc.
Okay. With King Shark.
Yeah, big shark guy.
Yeah.
He's
I'll
actually done very hilariously in the Harley Quinn series.
yeah.
Yeah, they actually got Ron Fucus. I think I'm pronouncing that name properly. To voice King Shark.
Right.
Honestly, from after seeing it, I kind of see a lot of that in the Bad Guys movie that's currently out now.
Okay.
You ever see it?
No.
It's like a heist movie, except instead of having different people with different skills, you have a wolf, a python, a great white, a tarantula, and a piranha.
Okay.
But to be fair, it's based off a children's book, so
Right.
there you
I
go.
think one of my favorite shows, and it's not that popular, and it's Black Lagoon. You ever seen it?
I have seen it. It's actually really good. It's dark when it needs to be.
Right.
And I
It's
guess to add
also
gravy to it, its cast is pretty diverse. You got the two white guys, you got the Chinese girl, and you got Dutch, this big black guy.
right. I think my favorite aspect of it is the fact of how do you survive when thrown into a situation where you have never prepared for, and that overcoming irrational fear, oh, well, not really irrational, but rational fear of, you're a mercenary now and being able to survive in that underworld.
That can't be really said for a lot of series.
Can it though?
I mean,
Because these are just humans.
I'll look at Dragon Ball, like the original Dragon Ball series.
Okay.
Goku was living in the woods, hunting animals. And
Yes.
he encounters Bulma, and he's like, yeah, I'll join you. But then he's so unused to this whole technological stuff.
Right.
Or I guess pretty much every alien that crash lands on Earth, they're trying to figure out how all this Earth doohickery works.
Right.
I guess like E.T. would be a good example of that.
Yeah, that's true. But ET had the advantage of being more, I guess, intelligent is the right word.
Okay, then let's say Alf, I guess.
the cat eating animal.
Yes, the cat eating aardvark looking thing.
God, we're really scraping the well.
Or I guess even gargoyles, when the remnants of the Wyvern clan became the Manhattan clan after the 1,000-year slumber of stone.
Right. Okay.
It's like when they go over Xantos castle, they're trying to figure out how half of this shit works.
Yeah. Yeah. I vaguely remember that. They ended up breaking more than they used.
Yeah, but Xanatos can afford it. You know what's funny? I always find it funny that they can break the rich guys' things. Whether it's Bruce Wayne, or Supergirl destroys Bruce Wayne's computer in that movie. I forgot, it was one where Supergirl first comes to Earth. Still technically DCAU canon. What was another one? Oh, crashing all of Xanatos's robots, or even them destroying Tony Stark stuff. It's like, yeah, we can afford it, but that doesn't give you the right to break this shit.
Right. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but Supergirl is Superman's cousin, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Don't tell me you're seeing people shipping Superman and Supergirl.
No, nothing like that. It popped in my head, like, how is she related again? And because it's been
cousins.
so long.
Oh yeah, they're cousins.
Yeah. Actually, what is it? The Incredibles, the Amazon Prime series.
No, isn't the Incredibles the Disney movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it Mr. Incredible? No. There was an Amazon Prime cartoon.
Oh no, you're talking about where they had J.K. Simmons voicing the dad. Is that the one you're thinking of?
Yeah. What do you think about that one?
It's an interesting concept, and I like how a lot of these modern superhero-esque shows are clearly inspired by Marvel characters. Do you ever see Venture Brothers?
Yeah.
So many different characters were inspired by that.
The Bodyguard was my favorite by far.
I think there's a recurring villain. It was like King Gorilla.
Yeah.
Obviously, Gorilla Grodd inspired. Then again, DC really used a lot of gorillas.
Yeah, they did, and I think it's because weren't they huge fans of Planet of the Apes?
That wouldn't surprise me, but it's funny. A lot of the times when people use when you try to think about what animals they can use, a lot of the most common animals they use are apes or birds, or even wolves for that matter.
Right.
Like, well, we have DC Comics as an example. Beast Wars, Optimus Primal turns into a gorilla, but they also had some unconventional animals, like Rat Trap that turns into a rat. One that actually transforms into a manta ray, and even one that turns into several that turn into arthropods,
Okay.
like wasps and ants and even spiders. Which now that I'm thinking about it, spiders are used a lot.
Yeah, because a lot of people have an irrational fear of spiders.
Makes sense. What do you think? That's always funny. I'm thinking about that old school Spider-Man song. Spider-Man, Spider-Man does whatever a spider can.
Oh yeah.
I have never seen him bite somebody and get them sick. I've never seen him lay eggs. I've never seen him just eat flies or anything.
Yeah.
I feel like that's very misconstrued.
Well, I mean, it's like you said, it can do, not will do.
Okay, that's fair. But can he actually bite somebody?
I mean, he's got teeth, right? He's got a jaw.
Let me rephrase that. Can he bite somebody and with actual toxins in his saliva?
I don't think they want to test that because that's not really part of the narrative. Biting
Well,
seems to be more of a
you would have
savage tactic.
Well, that and would have to make his mask more Batman-like and
Right.
less Spider-Man-like.
I mean, the only way I could see Spider-Man biting somebody, that's because Deadpool's taking over Spider-Man's job for a day.
Or maybe a Venom spider.
Oh yeah, okay, true. I mean, you got Parasite could do that, right?
Yeah. When you're talking, isn't Parasite a DC character?
Or am I getting Venom and Parasite confused?
You are.
Okay.
Parasite basically just absorbs everybody else's powers.
That's right. Okay.
Venom is the symbiote.
Right. Okay.
But now I'm thinking about it, Marvel and DC really do piggyback off each other.
Oh, absolutely.
DC has Killer Croc. Marvel therefore has the Lizard. DC has Moon Knight. DC has Batman. Marvel has Moon Knight. Cheetah and Tigress.
You got Deadpool and Deathstroke.
Well, to be fair, that one's more obvious because we have Deathstroke, Wade Wilson, and then we have Deadpool, aka. I mixed them up. Deathstroke, Slade Wilson, and Deadpool, Wade Wilson. So that one's just obvious.
Right. And then
although I guess Deadpool is really more the offspring of Deathstroke and a Looney Tunes character.
Yeah.
I think about it. He can never die. He constantly breaks the fourth wall.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Looney Tunes character.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Although a little more gory.
Yeah. But I think it's good to have a character like that every once in a while because it breaks a lot of the norms for a lot of comics.
Well, yeah. Harley Quinn is another example of that. Funny enough, she was just supposed to be a quote-unquote filler character, just appearing in an episode of Batman the Animated Series, Joker's Favor. Then she became so popular, she became woven into the comics. Right. Kind of like Bebop and Rocksteady from the Turtles franchise.
Okay, I'm not familiar with them.
Mune Warthog, Mune Rhinoceros?
Not familiar with them at all.
Not familiar with the Turtles?
No. I know the Turtles were based off of medieval painters, and that's about it.
Well, just the names, but the whole concept was just based on a design. Kind of a what-if scenario. Like, how about a story about mutants? Okay, let's have them be turtles. Oh, let's have them be ninjas. Want to make them teenagers? Yeah, okay.
That's fair. I mean, I'm just not that familiar with them. That's all.
That's okay. I am. In my time, I've met a lot of people who are strictly Marvel, strictly DC, both, and then strictly into other comics like your Dark Horses, your Image comics. and so on and so forth. And then people who are solely into anime, but have heard of Western stuff.
Right.
So it's fun. That's the funny thing about fandom, in my opinion. You never know what somebody is into.
Yeah.
But that said, I think you can get a general idea, like a comic book guy from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
You kind of have a feeling that he would be a comic book fan, as he's portrayed, as most comic book fans are.
I still love the joke when it's the apocalypse. He's like, okay, to save humanity, we all must be having sex with somebody at some point. For some of you, this is going to be much, much less. For me, it's going to be much, much more.
I think I remember that episode. I want to say it was an earlier one.
It was.
He just get married to a mangaka, which is kind of wholesome in its own way.
So what do you think about the trend of isekais that came through out of nowhere?
I mean, to quote Greg Wiseman, everything had to be edgy in the 90s, and he was not wrong. We had Gargoyles, pretty much the entirety of the DCAU, SWAT Cats, all dark shows.
Yeah.
I think this is just another trend that we have now.
Right.
90s, we have dark, edgy stuff. 2000s, we have, oh, this one businessman dies and then magically gets transported into another world.
Yeah.
But then again, riddle me this. Couldn't Avatar: The Last Airbender essentially be the original isekai?
In a way, yes. In a way, I'm going to say, because he is frozen in time to go forward to a different world, quote unquote, because he's, it's a whole different area. But it's still the same world he's living in. So by that logic, what was it?
Because even Gargoyles, for that matter, would kind of be an isekai. Then again, that goes back to the whole being frozen in time.
Well, I mean, with a similar logic, you could almost say Back to the Future is an isekai.
So I think we need what exactly qualifies as an isekai.
Well, I mean, technically, the trope is being teleported to a different world of some means, whether it be summoned or gone or however.
So would Futurama count as an isekai?
It's still technically on Earth, though, isn't it?
Yes, but it's a different Earth from the one he knows.
Right. I mean, it all comes down to definitions, I guess, because if it's the same world isekai, that's one thing, but if it's a different world entirely, it's another thing.
It's funny, and I also asked this question in my upcoming Dragons episode that I recorded with I'm going to do a quick shout out to Danielle Orsino, who wrote the Book of Fae series, and we each mentioned our dragons. I focused on a lot of Eastern dragons. I also threw in Smaug in there because, let's face it, intentional or not, every modern Western dragon owes its success to Smaug from Lord of the Rings. Well, technically The Hobbit. I say Lord of the Rings as a cover-up for the whole Middle-earth franchise.
Right.
And she focused on a lot of Western ones. And it's funny, people in the East, they have a guideline on what is and what is not a dragon. Whereas in the West, pretty much anything can be a dragon.
I mean, if I'm not mistaken, traditional dragons have 4 legs and wings.
Well, that's the traditional Western dragon.
Okay.
Eastern dragons are more fish-like.
So be more akin to a Western basilisk?
No, it's more like, you've seen Mulan, right?
Yes.
You remember Mushu?
Yes.
Pretty much dragons like that.
Okay. So
that's what an Eastern dragon would look like. But in the West, we have the ones you mentioned, 4 legs, wings on the back.
Right.
We have wyverns, which are kind of more like bat-like. We have huge snake-like ones, and drakes where they don't have wings at all.
Well, I thought drakes had wings.
No, drakes don't have wings. Dragons have wings. But then again, dragon's just the umbrella term for all that.
Right.
It's funny, I also compare them to sandwiches because in the East, they had one guideline of what is a sandwich. Whereas the West, we have Monte Cristos, we have peanut butter and jelly, we have Reubens, we have BLTs, we have turkey clubs. Pretty much anything can count as a sandwich.
Right.
Which I got to ask you, technically not a geek question, but do you think burgers are sandwiches?
I mean, they come on bread, right?
Yes.
So yeah.
But every time I go to a diner or a restaurant, they have a menu that says burgers and sandwiches. I mean,
So
it's kind of like having something. We have beef and red meat. Beef is already red meat. Why do you guys specify it like that?
would the difference between burger and sandwich be temperature then?
I mean, I guess, but then we have the Reubens and all these other warmer sandwiches.
Okay, that's fair.
And I think it could be a bun issue, or I guess it's like a special type. Like we have superheroes, and then we have the anti-heroes, like your Deadpools, your Wolverines, your Batman.
Yeah.
So like, I guess if it's big enough, it needs to be specified.
I've always called them lawful neutrals.
Fair enough.
I mean, but everything I reference is usually based off of Dungeons and Dragons, so that's kind of where I go through.
You know, it's funny. A lot of times I reference something, and it's usually of a geek culture. I get so many looks. It's like, what are you talking about? And it's kind of hard to reference geek stuff to people who aren't into geek culture.
Right.
You ever have that problem?
So I'm weird because I fit into so many different categories. It's hard for me to fit into every single one perfectly. Like, I'm a gamer, I'm a gun guy, I'm an anime snob at some points. I also can go outside and handle, farm stuff, but I also understand city people. I've tried skateboarding several times. I'm not good at it, but I can hang out with skateboarders. Like, I'm not really into music, but I don't really, mind music people. I can handle talking about sports, but I'm not into sports. So like, it's weird for me to classify into a certain kind of subject because I'm all over the place.
That makes sense. And you definitely sound pretty diverse.
Oh, absolutely.
But if you had to label yourself as one thing, what would you label yourself as?
An asshole.
If that's how you choose to self-identify.
I'm the nicest asshole anybody will ever meet.
Okay. I mean, that kind of sounds like an oxymoron, but there you go.
Well, I mean, it's true. If you start talking to my friends, they're like, yeah, he's an asshole, but that's only when you get on his bad side.
No. He's an asshole, but he's our asshole.
Pretty much. I guarantee you my friends watching this are going to be like, yep.
I get that. I get the same reaction, but I try not to put on a facade for anybody.
That's
you don't like me as who I am, then go fuck yourself.
Yeah, that's just it. Like, that's more of the libertarian approach. It's just like, leave me the fuck alone. I'll do my own thing.
In my experience, as long as you're not doing harm onto others and you respect everybody for who they are, then you should be able to do whatever you want.
Congratulations, you're libertarian.
I guess I am.
That's the gateway into it.
Well, it's funny how what really constitutes as a gateway. Like, I guess your Dragon Balls and your Sailor Moons could essentially be seen as gateway series to anime fans.
Cowboy Bebop was mine.
Well, yeah, funny enough, mine was Kimba the White Lion. And
Kimbo
funny
the
enough,
White Lion. Man.
yeah, like some real old school shit.
Yeah.
And funny enough, my dad thought they were Lion King tapes. Another reason why Disney just needs to admit that they were inspired by Kimba the White Lion. They'll never admit that at this point. And it's kind of insulting that they start admitting it, but we all know. It's if Kimba the White Lion and Shakespeare had a love child and it was raised by 90s stars. Your Jeremy Irons, your James Earl Jones, your Matthew Broderick's, and all those. Which I gotta ask you something.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on these Disney live action movies?
I do not like them.
Any of them?
None of them. They're a bastard child of something that should just stay where it was.
Well, obviously, at this point, Disney's, I don't want to say an evil corporation, but they're certainly a monopoly. Yeah. They now have Marvel. They now have Nat Geo Wild, Blue Sky Animation, Fox Studios, so on and so forth. And it's always funny to think what like if this was an animated or live action thing, who would play whom? But it's kind of like a Jurassic Park thing. It's like we ask all our times if we could do it. We never ask if we should do it.
Right. Well, that's just like what the did with Netflix did that one. It was it Beastar?
Well, technically, that was based on a manga.
The borderline hentai, the furry hentai.
Yeah, funny
Borderline.
enough, that was actually based on the daughter of I want to say an older mangaka. I want to say either Fist of the North Star or Berserk, one of the two. I'm not entirely sure.
Okay.
But yeah, that was weird. It's like
Who
BoJack.
asked for this?
It's like I'm getting BoJack Horseman and Zootopia vibes from this shit.
Now that you mention it, you're right.
Then again, that just falls into the trope of anthropomorphic animals.
Yeah.
Like
that's
easily
true.
one of my favorite scenes of any anthropomorphic animal, anything, is DuckTales, the new one. Not only did they reference older 90s cartoons or 90s and 80s cartoons, they referenced Gummy Bears, Wuzzles, Darkwing Duck, Tailspin, and even Gargoyles. But there's this one scene where the aliens spending a day with it was Webby and Dewey, and they're feeding the ducks. It's like, wait, what? They're feeding ducks, and they're ducks. I'm like, how do they not see this shit?
Evolution.
Or I guess that was like that one BoJack Horseman episode where they had the chicken escape, and then there's a chicken farm where the farmers are chickens. No one knows chickens better than chickens.
I mean, all right. I could that is weird.
It's like simple Rick vibes from Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
But that said, the whole concept of a live action stuff. I mean, honestly, out of all the entirety of the Disney movies, the only ones that really should get a live action are Treasure Planet.
Yeah.
Trying to think of another. Atlantis.
Yeah.
And Black Cauldron as more like a redemption thing.
Oh man, Black Cauldron. That was one of my favorites back in the day.
Yeah, but they kind of did the opposite of Hobbit, the live action one. They were trying for Hobbit, it was one book spread across 3 movies, which I guess would be the equivalent of taking a slice of cheese and spreading it between 3 slices of bread.
Yeah.
Whereas the Black Cauldron took an entire book series and then made it into a movie.
Yeah.
They went the opposite route with that.
Yeah. That would be interesting to see it live action. I think I might actually watch that.
Yeah, but as far as the genies go, if I was going to rank all the genies, number 1 would be Robin Williams, because
of course.
Number 2 would be James Monroe Iglehart, the Broadway one. Phenomenal job.
Okay.
3 would be the Japanese one, and yeah, I've seen the Japanese one. I'm a weeb, so shocker. The 4th one would be Dan Castellaneta.
I'm not sure which one that is.
2nd movie and TV series.
Okay.
And the 5th one would be Will Smith, because it just feels like Will Smith being Will Smith.
Yeah. All right. I haven't seen it.
It worked for him in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, that Shark Tale movie.
Because that movie was weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
I like the concept of Men in Black. It was one of my favorite
Men
concepts.
in Black, but it just gets old after a while. Although it's funny, one of my favorite comedians is Rodney Dangerfield, and he pretty much played the same character every movie.
Yeah.
Rich guy who loves taking jabs at himself and spreads his money around. It works.
Is there any anime you're looking forward to that's coming out?
I heard that Bleach is getting a comeback, and I'm really looking forward to that.
It's pushed back to October.
Of course it is. But it's still coming out, so I look forward to that.
Oh, yeah. I went through and rewatched all of Bleach, and I was like, I'm ready. And then it's pushed back to October. Damn it.
I don't hate, but I'm going to do it anyway. The funny thing about One Piece, it's only 10% filler. Whereas your Bleaches and your Naruto's, that thing is half filler.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Because I was watching Shippuden, I'm like, oh, all right, we're doing a backstory now. Skip. Cool, next episode.
I mean, don't get me wrong, a backstory is good for any development, but
yeah, but with a throwaway character, come on now.
I mean, or a filler character for that matter.
Yeah. Well, what did I say?
Throwaway, filler, same difference.
They're not coming back anytime soon.
Well, that said, it was nice seeing Jiraiya's flashback.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
But to be fair, that's Naruto's mentor and actually was integral to the story overall.
Right.
Whereas filler character number 9002, like, you're going to be gone anyway. Why do you need a filler? Why do you need a backstory?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of anime suffer from that, is they add so much filler that it's hard for it to almost stand on its own if you took those fillers out.
Yeah, it's like if you trim all the fat from I guess the same thing could be said for the Hobbit movies. Like if you
Yeah.
get rid of that stupid elf dwarf romance, get rid of Legolas's scenes, and if you remove the Lake Town politics entirely, you could easily have a 2-part movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I would say it ends right at the part I'm trying to say would be a good half, like right where the Eagles drop them off after the goblins.
Yeah.
That would be the first movie end, and then they do the second movie there.
Right.
I could easily see that being a 2-part movie.
Yeah. But then they couldn't squeeze, 3 movies out of it.
Did they need to?
I mean, they did.
But do they need to?
Yeah, probably not. I mean, come on now. They could have had them flying the Eagles over to the mountain and throw the rings in and be done with it.
Keep the Eagles' names out your fucking mouth. No, for real. I mean, well, think about it. They're trying to sneak into Mordor.
Yeah.
I honestly think you can sneak into Mordor with a big ass bird, clearly big enough to carry so many different people.
It only had to hold Frodo.
Still, though.
Hey, the eagle can fly how high? The standard arrow can fly how far?
Yeah, but don't forget the fell beast that they had.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
At that point, it's a question of speed.
If anything, it's more of a question of stealth.
Okay. It could be.
Oh, why else do you think they chose hobbits? They move quietly that nobody can hear them. Which I always found that their choice of weapon funny. Sting. Okay, you're basically invisible. You're quiet as fuck. Nobody can hear you coming. Here's a magic sword that glows every time you enter nearby.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a little redundant.
It kind of was.
It kind of felt like they were playing a game of D&D, and it's like, all right, I'm going to troll you.
I see what you did there. It's like, oh yeah, hey, can I get a cheeseburger with cheese? Like, you're already asking for a cheeseburger. Why are you saying with cheese? If you specify, it's like, can I get a cheeseburger with Swiss cheese? Okay.
Yeah.
Can I get that with American or provolone? Or I guess whatever the myriad of slice. But you're saying, can I get a cheeseburger with cheese? That is literally putting a hat on hat. It's like putting something on Facebook or Instagram and then liking it. Like, you clearly liked it enough to put it out there in the first place. Well, why are you hitting that like button?
You got to get it started somehow, right?
Yeah, I guess the Family Guy actually did that. Where Stewie's like, ugh, I'm the only one that knows how social media works. Lois you see a cutaway to Lois, and then she hits the like button, and they're like, that'll get it started. Well, I guess now that I'm thinking about it, Family Guy isn't as funny as it used to be.
No.
A lot of the characters really were downgraded. Well, no, actually, I'd say 7 seasons. It was actually still funny around 7 or 8. Then it just kind of went downhill. Like, Brian's a complete douchebag now, where he used to be the voice of reason. Peter is an absolute moron, where he was dumb, but he was kind of smart.
He had his moments.
And Stewie was this, this evil genius baby. Now he's this baby who's gay, and it's like almost flamboyant gay, and he's not as smart as he used to be.
Yeah.
Although I think that could be a multiverse thing. Like, the old Family Guy is one universe, whereas another Family Guy is a different universe.
See, I wonder if you can backtrack that to the point when Disney bought Fox.
That's possible. Or I guess that would be like a whole Ben 10 thing where it was actually confirmed in Omniverse why each one had a different design, because the Celestial Sapiens kept reshaping the universe.
Right.
And honestly, one of the best crossovers I can think of is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one. Now, I know you said you weren't a fan of them, but I'm going to reference it anyway. In the 2012 one, Rob Paulson voices the original Raphael, and your voice is the original Donatello. So when the two meet, the Raphael, the 80s Raphael talks to the 2012 Raphael. It's like, why does your voice sound weird? Me sound weird. Have you heard yourself lately? And it's basically Rob Paulson roasting himself. I actually love it.
That's pretty good.
It really is. And for those of you that don't know, Rob Paulson has voiced many of your favorite childhood classics. Yakko from Animaniacs, Steelbeak from Darkwing Duck. He voiced a gummy bear. I forgot the name. Gusto. He voiced Gusto Gummy Bear. Trying to think of who else he voiced that people may be familiar with. I think he voiced one of the original Ariel bots in the 80s cartoon.
Aerial bots?
Yeah,
I'm not familiar.
You know how all the Autobots, like they're in the movies or whatnot, they transformed into cars.
Yeah.
The Decepticons transformed into planes and other flying vehicles.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, maybe we should get some flying Autobots, and then they brought in the aerial bots.
Okay. Oh man. So I think one of my favorite crossovers from like different things was Zoids. Do you remember that show?
I remember it vaguely. If I had to do a conversation on it, I would have to do some research first, but I'm definitely familiar with the concept.
So my favorite thing about Zoids was the fact that they blatantly stole from so many different sources. They stole from Transformers, they stole from Power Rangers, and they stole from there was another show I can't remember they stole it from. But the fact of the matter is, like, they could transform their vehicles into certain mechs, and then they could combine to make more power. And there was something else with it that they stole from somewhere else. I'm just blanking on it right now. It's been so long since I watched it.
Or is it a trope scenario?
It could have been a trope, but
think about it.
They really
People
didn't
could say that Family Guy stole from The Simpsons. Somebody could say that Simpsons stole from All in the Family. All in the Family could have been stolen from Flintstones. And even before then, we have the Honeymooners.
Or the Twilight Zone.
Well, no, more Honeymooners because it portrays the trope of fat idiot husband and beautiful, attractive wife who's more times than not the voice of reason.
Right. Okay, so maybe it was a trope.
It could have been a trope, but I could have also seen some stealing stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't hide it very well at all. Like they did even the same action scene of transforming together. It became its own
thing, which is pretty good. I mean, based on that logic, pretty much every modern superhero series stole from DC and Marvel because all the Marvel and DC character knockoffs.
Right. It's just a matter of being able to have your own unique twist on it, I suppose.
Okay, you know what? That is actually fair. But even like, for example, fun fact for y'all, Demona was actually kind of inspired by Magneto in the sense of the us versus them mentality. But Demona is still her own character in Gargoyles.
Okay.
So I don't believe in the actual stealing thing. I mean, fan art, I guess, if anything's really stealing, it's fan art because you're taking somebody else's character and you're reshaping it to match your own, whether it's your own gender or your own ethnicity or whatever.
Hey, now the weebs on Rule 34 are going to get very upset with you.
You know what? Come on. Of course, I'm just speaking as an artist because I am a published author. I have my own books here, my own book, Peter and the Cold Christmas. And I'm actually working on my second one that involves a hyena and empathy right now.
Okay.
So I'm probably speaking as an artist more so than as a fan. So as a fan, it's always nice seeing these other concepts. Like I cannot tell you how many what's called what's the Japanese art called? Not yaoi. It's
yaoi is two men.
No.
Yuri is two girls.
No, it was an old Japanese style.
Like old Japanese style.
Like how many old Japanese versions of Dragon Ball or One Piece or Naruto that I've seen that are actually good, but it's still basically copying from somebody else's stuff and passing it as your own.
Oh, you mean like the feudal era art?
Yeah, like that stuff.
Okay. All right. I know what you're talking about, but I don't know the correct term.
It's going to kill me now. I got to look that shit up later. But yes, I get that. I mean, inspiration is everywhere, no matter where you look. One example is Scott McNeil, who voices so many characters in Beast Wars, he said he got his voice for Waspinator from a squeaky door when he was opening his car.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so that just goes to show you, sometimes it's not always best to look for inspiration, but rather let inspiration come to you.
I mean, yeah. I mean, look at a lot of sound design for different things. Sound design comes from everywhere.
Exactly.
Like, are you familiar with Halo?
I'm familiar with Halo. I couldn't do a full episode with Halo without some research, but I'm definitely familiar with the concept and have heard of it.
So the sound design the sound design is what I'm referencing exclusively. The Scorpion tank noise is actually from an 1860s steam powered tractor. That squeaky noise you hear when it's rolling, that is the actual tractor going forward, and they recorded it. That's how they got that noise.
Well, yeah, it's funny how noises come from everywhere. Like the T-Rex from Jurassic Park is a combination of crocodile, alligator, tiger, baby elephant, and a humpback whale.
I did not know that.
Oh, yeah. And it's funny enough, I see a lot of these new Jurassic Park movies making the dinosaurs more scientifically accurate, more feathery and whatnot. But
Right.
that's the funny thing about Jurassic Park. They confirmed that they're not all dinosaur. Like, I think they used frogs to fill in some of the blanks of the DNA.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a hybridization thereof, but they still call them dinosaurs.
Right. Probably because of ease of access for like normies.
I get that. So honestly, the coolest dinosaurs out there are the Dinobots. Think about it. Dinosaurs are cool. Jurassic Park proved this. Robots are cool. Terminator proved this. Rebellious anti-heroes are cool. Batman, Wolverine, Deadpool have all proved this.
Yeah.
Things that can transform are cool. The Transformers have proved that. You put that all together and you get the coolest fucking thing ever.
Yeah.
Rebellious anti-hero robots that can transform into dinosaurs.
That's fair. It's fair. I mean, you're not wrong.
I'd like to think I'm not wrong, at least about this anyway.
All right. So what's your favorite wholesome anime?
Wholesome?
And I mean wholesome in the actual sense of wholesome, not the joke way.
No, I know what you meant. My roommate's a cat. It's really so heartwarming.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, definitely check it out if you can.
Oh, I'm going to forget the name of this goddamn anime.
Yeah, this goddamn anime. That's wholesome.
Oh,
all right, let me go on Crunchyroll and find this goddamn anime.
No, it's right there.
No, I thought it was like a Meatballs thing.
No. It's
the name has nothing to do with the actual story.
It's Senko the Helpful Fox.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one.
That is probably my favorite wholesome anime. It's one of those animes that even me, I'm like, oh, why?
Yeah, the one of those right in the feel animes.
Man, just drop kick my heart, why don't you?
Well, you're gonna drop kick your heart, then you might as well just watch Your Lie in April.
Or the name escapes me. What the hell is it? The guy picks on this girl for having hearing aids, and then he tries to kill himself, and she saves him, and goes through all that shit. What the hell is that show called? It's a movie.
I don't know, but if we're gonna go wholesome as far as movies go, Wolf Children is kind of a wholesome movie. The Boy and the Beast is a wholesome movie. Pretty much anything from Ghibli is wholesome.
Okay. Man, it's gonna bother me. I'm gonna have to look that up later and figure out what the name of that stupid anime
I hope you
is.
can remember what it is.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny when you say a lot of people steal from other things. I guess Sonic kind of owes a lot to Dragon Ball.
Does it though?
Think about it. You got the hero, Sonic, and Goku, spiky hair, and they both have a stupid amount of transformations. The best friend who is weaker than them, with Tails and Krillin. You got the rebellious dark one, that being Knuckles and Vegeta.
Yeah.
And then you got these magic 7 items, whether it be the emeralds or the Dragon Balls.
Now, would that be more? Because I think Sonic came out before Dragon Ball.
Did it though? The original Dragon Ball came out in the 80s. I think Sonic was a 90s thing. I could be wrong though.
I'm looking it up. 1991 was the first Sonic the Hedgehog game.
Oh, there you go. Dragon Ball came first.
All right.
It was like that whole episode with South Park. Simpsons did it.
God damn it. God, that fucking show.
Honestly, one of the best episodes I have that I would recommend to any anime fan was the one where they get ninja weapons.
Oh my God, yes. That's
love
right
that
up
one.
there with the World of Warcraft episode.
Yeah, and they actually and I think it's Trey Parker that actually sings that song "Let's Fighting Love" in Japanese words. And you read the English lyrics, it's like
It makes no sense.
It does. That was the whole point of it.
Those guys, I swear, if I could have just a half of what they had, I could be ridiculous.
Dude, not that I promote killing, but I will gladly kill a virgin just to have an hour with Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
And no kidding. All right. I know
I
you're
would
not
love
really
to pick their brains.
I know you're not really political, but we're talking about South Park here.
As well.
I think the when Mr. Garrison was portrayed as Trump in South Park was one of the highlights of South Park ever.
Oh, it really was. That was just so fucking funny.
I could not stop laughing during those episodes.
Well, yeah, they cover everything. They even covered transgender issues before it really became a thing.
Yeah.
As in the case of Mr. Garrison becoming Mrs. Garrison.
Yeah.
They covered abortion.
Yeah.
What else they cover? LGBTQ rights.
Barbara Streisand.
Watashi wa Mabegaru Paparu Strazaru. And then you see the Japanese guy going like, it's already a Godzilla. It's like, is that really necessary?
They even did, they did a Terminator parody. That was always fun.
Well, they reference everything. They referenced Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah.
Like one of the best ones they did was when the live action Hobbit movies were coming out, and it was Kanye West calling Kim Kardashian like, "Bitch, how you know the Hobbit again?" Okay, yeah, okay, let me do. Like, okay, if my girlfriend is not the Hobbit, then how come she don't glow blue when orcs are nearby? Boom. Technically, it's not the Hobbit that glows blue, it's the sword. Man, get your Hobbit trivia ass out of my face.
I think one of the other favorite episodes, and we'll wrap it up with this, was the Jersey Shore when they made fun of Jersey Shore.
Oh, I love that one. And they made Snooki this gremlin looking thing.
It's raping me.
Snooki went smash, smash. Well, I'd say one of the more semi-recent ones that came out that I really enjoy is where they finally start getting more political, but they got rid of Mr. Hanky because he was quote unquote racist, and then we got the PC babies going on. Like, you ever take Ambien? It really messes your shit up. It's like, I get that, but that's kind of really goes to the whole fact of, do we really have freedom of speech anymore?
We really don't.
No,
I
think the founding fathers would kind of be upset.
You're able to go outside and hold a sign as much as you want, but freedom of speech doesn't mean you have not the right not to get hit for certain things.
Well, no, it's all about picking and choosing the words you want to say.
Right.
I've always found that funny. Like Randy, actually, they did that with the whole South Park thing, where Randy just yells the N-word on TV. It's like, oh, it's daggers.
Yeah. Oh, that was great.
Yeah. Oh,
all the black cameramen looking behind, like, are you about to say what you're going to say?
And then you see everybody just doing the whole finger pitching thing. And then that actually goes to Tolkien. It's like, it's not us you have to worry about. It's Tolkien.
Yeah.
Or sorry, as they said it, Token.
Yeah.
Which kind of goes to a lot of point. I think that's just one of those words that really shouldn't be said by anybody because it's got a lot of harsh and malcontent behind it.
Right.
But that's just me.
I mean, you're not wrong.
But I don't know. I never really understood of only one group of people saying a particular word. That has never made sense to me.
Yeah, it's like saying you can't say Asian food. Like, how
like,
else are you supposed to
describe
it?
It's food from Asia.
Right. I can't say the word even if I wanted to, but it's the color black in Spanish. YouTube will take down that word.
Like, I don't know. The language is a very funny thing. It's like we're very picky choosy. Like, I remember Apu being this lovable character, but now he's no longer there because of cancel culture.
Right.
and we had the Washington Redskins, but they're no longer there because of the same reason.
Well, okay, here's the most one of the most ones that I've recognized is Jinx from Pokemon.
Yeah,
She
well,
was black and now she's purple.
well, yeah, and they actually kind of parried that in the Dragon Ball Abridged series.
Yeah.
Where it's like, don't you have a home? Like, no, Popo's busy right now. And then you hear the Pokemon Jinx in the background. Jinx, Jinx, Jinx. And Popo saying, shut up, bitch, you love it.
By far, my favorite parody was Team 4-Star. Everything they've done is great.
I love their Nappa so much. Vegeta, look, it's a Namekian. Hey, I take insult to that. He's referring to me. And that's not an insult. We're a proud warrior race of, that means he doesn't have a penis. Right, Vegeta?
The end, what was it? Oh my god. What's wrong, Vegeta? I'm just having an aneurysm from your stupidity. Well, it's not nice to be that way. There's something he says. I didn't know you were that stupid.
I also like their Helsing. That's very funny. They made, I didn't know it was possible, but they made him darker.
Yeah, they did. And they kind of, okay, I got this good hot take here. It kind of got a new age Deadpool feel with Cell and Helsing.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
So would it be Dead Card or Alupool?
I'm going to go with Alupool.
Yeah, it actually does sound more badass.
Because I'm going to make you a pool of your own blood.
I feel like and if you see their other work, like they did the Joe Star within a few minutes, they did the B-Stars one. That was really funny.
Like, I'm going to have to watch that one.
Yeah, it's like, I'm extremely layered. You know, like onions.
All right, Tyler, thanks for coming on, man. Anything else
thanks for having out? Yeah, if you like my delightful voice and attitude, feel free to check out my podcast at geektalktyler.com, and you'll see many different guests. I've had other podcasters on there. I've had a lot of people that inspired us, like, say, Greg Wiseman or Ken Weisselman, that whose episode will be appearing later on this year. Authors, geeks of all kinds, really. So yeah, if you want to follow that, and do please check out our sponsors. My website would not be possible without the help of them.
Lucky you got sponsors.
I'm a real go-getter.
Yeah, that's always good.
I try putting my name out there.
Yeah, good. All right. Everyone have a great night.